Hello, welcome to another edition of Prove All Things. I want to thank everybody who's joining us today, whether you're watching now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We appreciate your comments. And all those who are watching recorded, we appreciate your comments as well. Uh, Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And also, if you're watching in the CGI Digital Network app, whether on your phone or television, we want to thank you for joining us as well. I'm joined with co-host Mike James in California. How you doing, Mike?
Hey Jeff, doing well out here. I guess this show is going to be on during Thanksgiving week, so happy Thanksgiving to the folks out there.
Yeah, definitely. Happy Thanksgiving. This is a pre-recorded message. I will be as this recording probably somewhere in the Bahamas. So so I'll be doing fine.
That would
Hopefully,
be nice. Hey, are you
hopefully.
going to a specific island down there, or do you know what island you'll be
I,
on?
I I
Or
think it's Nassau, and then
okay.
the cruise line has their own private island.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
okay, I got it.
it's just it's a week for me and the wife to get away from the kids and get away from everything for 5 days and
Yeah.
relax a little bit. Then we'll get back into it after that. We're gonna have a family Thanksgiving with my family and my brothers in Alabama the Saturday after we get back. So
Okay,
looking forward.
you know what's funny is we're kind of having it the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I mean, the day before because my brother and his wife are going to this other thing on Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
and so we're going to have it with some other folks and them the day before. So that's
Yeah,
interesting. We're doing it
yeah.
on a different day.
Yeah, there's so many people in the family that call Thanksgiving, and so their side of the family has Thanksgiving, and they do that or whatever. Like I give up. I don't care about Thanksgiving Day. Just whenever we do it, let's get together. Uh, for the past three years, we've been on cruises or vacations. I'm kind of liking, for a couple of years we were in Mexico on Thanksgiving. And that's happy, place to have a Thanksgiving. So
Okay.
definitely look forward to that next week. And again, thank you everybody who's watching today. And I hope you are preparing to have a wonderful Thanksgiving week this week. Enjoy some time off with your family.
Definitely.
And we are. I guess we'll get into this. I guess I guess the Santa Ana winds. How are they doing? They still
Yeah,
blowing
yeah,
strong.
they're starting to die down a little bit, and we're told that they're going to diminish today, but they could pick up again in the next few days after that. So last year around this time, Jeff, they picked up my metal shed and threw it into a wall in the backyard. So I got everything on the side now, so the winds can't get it because it's between the house and a wall. So I'm good this year.
All right, yeah, you're getting used to that weather out there. All right, well, uh, though I don't have anything else further to mention. We're excited about our guest today, who's been on a couple times with us before. I want to introduce Mr. Jason Pack. How you doing,
Hey
Jason?
Jason,
Hey
how's it
guys,
going?
it's going well. Happy to be here. Thank you again for having me back. I'm excited.
Yeah,
So
remind everybody where you're from and where you're broadcasting from today, and
so
what you do.
I'm from Winston Salem, down in North Carolina, and we have a family business where we sell herbs, supplements, vitamins, and as well we help kind of counsel people, talk to people about health, nutrition, about how to use herbs to improve your health and to improve your body and your temple, so that we can live a better life every day, hopefully, and not hurt, not suffer as much as we can sometimes.
Very
I
good,
think that's
very
I think
good.
that's what we all want is we want to live as healthy as we possibly can and do it with the least harsh treatment or whatever it takes. Make it as easy as possible to live as good as possible. At least that's my
Well, yeah,
my
I
my
mean,
look
why?
at it. Yeah,
I mean, God tells us we don't. He never tells us we're not going to suffer, but at the
yeah,
same time, if some of that suffering is because of what we're eating and what we're doing, I
yeah.
mean, why not change it?
Hmm.
And God tells us to do work. We have work to do. Well, if we can't do that work because we're hurting all day long or because we're stressed all day long, well, I believe we're not going to be as effective as we can be.
Yeah, I think eating, for me at least, that's the number one thing you can do for your health is what you eat. That's our number one. I guess exercise is up there, but number
Yeah.
one is what you eat.
So, since you brought that up, what do you think the percentage is of, as far as what you eat and your environment you expose yourself to? How much do you think that affects your day-to-day life and well-being, percentage-wise?
Let me think.
Like
How
what percentage of what you eat affects your life?
Yeah, how important is that on as far as your well-being, health, and everything?
Probably like 75%.
I'll say 45.
So 75% is right on the money. It's 70% to higher, depending on the person.
Yeah.
It used to be opposite of that. Used to say, well, it's 30% and 70%, genetic. Your genes have involved. Well, you have genetic tendencies, but I don't believe that. And science and research is proving that, because what we put in our body greatly affects, our genes, our well-being, how we handle life. You have mental health, you have physical health, but those all involve environment. And so you rein those in and work on those. That affects greatly how you feel from day to day.
Yeah, the reason I gave 75% is because I think I've learned that over my life that basically there's certain things I know that if I eat these foods, I'm not going to feel very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll give you an example. I love eating Long John Silver's, which is deep fried fish with the batter all over it. The fries are deep fried and the hush puppies. And I want to go to Long John Silver's and get me a food. I'll go there and get that, and afterwards I feel awful. So I was happy to go there, but afterwards I just feel terrible after eating all that grease and just I feel greasy and nasty on the inside, and I feel sick, for a day or so for that particular place. That's some people may eat there and love it, but for me, that place, even though I like it, man, it will mess me up. So I've learned just not to go there.
Well, and that's good, because you've learned to listen to your body and say, wow, I don't need to feel this way, and this food is making me feel this way, so we'll cut it out. If you want to keep feeling that way, well, keep eating that food. And that's one of the biggest things I deal with on a day-to-day basis. People coming in, they, I want to take this, I want something for this, and 99% of the time, if they were to make changes mainly to their diet, then they could see results. I mean, yes.
So we can eat things that will give us diabetes, right? We can eat foods and we'll become a type 2 diabetic by the foods we eat. And we can control that with medicine, and you can just eat all those nasty foods and have this medicine, or you can eat healthy foods and not worry about the medicine. And so that's the choices we have, I think.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about, what are good foods to eat, because there's lots of confusion. There's a lot of, food gurus out there talking, eat this diet, eat this way, and it's hard to know how to eat good food. And I want to talk about a 4-letter word today. It rhymes with the word hoop. Everybody does it. I think everybody knows what it is. Anybody can guess what that is? Poop. Right? Poop.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about poop, and we can use bowel movements if that sounds better for some people. But that's a better word, because if you rank up, as far as day-to-day health and what means good health and what is good health, well, bowel movements are going to be, in my opinion, number one, because everything that we put in our body goes through our digestive tract. That's where we get our nutrients from. It's where we get our vitamins from. And so if you are not regular, well, that is a very big indicator of not being healthy.
Let me just ask you, when you say regular, Jason, are you talking about like at a certain time of the day you have to go to the bathroom, and it's like that, usually you're going at this time each day? Is that what you mean by that, or what do you mean by regular?
So regulars, having regular bowel movements,
Okay.
and that can be different for people. Some people can, be in the morning, some people in the evening, some people 3 times a day.
Mhm.
Regularity, if you look it up, it's anywhere from 3 times a day to 3 times a week. Now, you ask me, I'm going to tell you 3 times a week is not regular, but
3
you
times a
think,
week sounds like a python or something. I
uh,
mean, not a
you
human, but
you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
yeah,
You laugh, but there are many people that
yeah.
will go 3 to 5 days without having a bowel movement.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yes,
incredible.
yeah, more than you think. It might not happen all the time. It
Yeah.
might,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it happens.
But so that could be normal. You can go 3, 4 days and you're normal, your body's just fine. It's just the different bodies do it different
Well,
ways.
I wouldn't say it's normal, but
Okay,
Yeah.
it might be something normal to some people.
gotcha.
Now, most people will go usually once a day.
Mhm.
That's mostly. But if you're going once a day, I'm going to argue you're somewhat regular, but you could be more regular. And I'm going to talk about that today, because how many
Go ahead.
how many meals do you eat a day?
I mean, usually 3 is a normal
Yeah,
measure.
I
Some
mean
people
most
eat
people.
more.
Yeah,
Some
some
people eat
people.
more.
Mm-hmm. So
So wouldn't that have something to do with how many times you're eating a day, though?
yeah, technically, if you're eating 3 meals a day, you should be going almost 3 times a day.
Yeah.
If you time as far as a healthy digestive tract, now some people might go more than that. People that have irritable bowel syndrome or, of course, diarrhea, they're going to be going more frequently.
Yeah.
And that's another issue. You can also go too much, which are too regular. We can
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that. That's not as common, but it is becoming more and more common, where people are. So IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, can be classified as either being constipated, over too regular, or a combination. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can't go. Sometimes you go too much, and that's becoming very, very, very common.
I've heard some commercials now about that. Can
Yeah.
you tell us a little bit about what that is and what may cause that?
So I'll be honest with you, I don't know a lot about all the specifics, but
Mhm.
it's just called IBS, which it stands
Yeah.
for irritable bowel syndrome, and it's inflammation of the digestive tract. It
Yeah.
can be multiple different areas.
Mhm.
But what it means is you don't have a healthy gut, and that's what I want to talk about today. Is talking about what can we do to improve the health of our gut, and then therefore improve the health of our bodies,
Mhm.
and then also prevent having a lot of these common diseases we have: diabetes,
Yeah.
cardiovascular disease, cancer.
Mhm.
Improving your gut can limit the likeliness of having all 3 of these and even others.
Yeah.
We're talking about.
My mom had something similar to it was Crohn's disease, which maybe is a
Mhm.
form of irritable bowel syndrome, where she would have the problems with her, with her intestines, and would have
Yeah.
painful movements and a lot of pain involved with the
Mhm.
with that condition she had. And she had she went to and again, I'm going to give you her example. It's probably maybe different
Mhm.
from other people's, but she would go and they would give her these treatments and they would kind of help somewhat. But I stumbled upon a book uh, that maybe it may have been Mike's brother introduced it to me. I don't know, but it was called The Maker's Diet, and
Yeah.
in the book The Maker's Diet, he talked about the probiotics. I know you're going to talk about probiotics, and so my mom started taking probiotics, and this is just her. Other people may have different things.
Mhm.
She didn't have problems after the probiotics, and
Yeah.
I started taking it myself because I knew I had probably the same genetics as her with those things.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
ties right into what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Crohn's is not as common as IBS.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it's classified as an IBS or something. I think it's just like a specific inflammation of a specific area of the gut.
Right.
But yeah, I believe much of that can be prevented if we change what we're putting in our body. And so,
Mhm.
like the first thing I want to talk about today, and in my opinion, the most important is fiber.
Okay.
And when you think of going to the bathroom, do you think of fiber, right?
Right.
Yeah. You think of being regular, you think of fiber. You see it all over commercials, eat more fiber, eat this
Right.
fiber. But I have conversations every day, basically, because I'm talking about this a lot here at the store.
Yeah.
And I tell people about, what kind of fiber you eating, and they tell me, and majority of people have no clue what fiber really is. What's that mean? We know, eat fruits and vegetables, eat, plants, and you get fiber.
Right.
But there are actually two types of fiber. And one is called soluble fiber, and the other one is called insoluble fiber. So can you give me an example of a soluble fiber?
Soluble fiber.
So soluble fiber is going to be something that dissolves in water, I guess, right?
You're exactly correct. Correct. Okay. Sorry.
So that's the meaning of soluble. So I'm trying to think what we eat that dissolves in water.
Think about a breakfast food that we eat a lot.
Like some kind of bread or
oatmeal.
Well, breads don't really do cereal. It's a kind of cereal. And we warm it up and we put fruit on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oatmeal.
So oatmeal is an example of soluble fiber. Mm-hmm. So right here, I brought some props today. So rolled oats. Oatmeal is a great example of soluble fiber. Soluble fibers. Oatmeal is linked to lower cholesterol, lower cardiovascular disease, lower cancer, colon cancer risks. And so, eating that every day is really good. Now, you'll hear some people say, oh, well, it's high in carbs, and so then therefore not very good for diabetics. Well, that's true. Now, I would argue, okay, eat your oatmeal, but also eat a piece of protein. Have like a beef patty, or have a little chicken breast, or a piece of steak, or some turkey bacon. Eat some kind of protein with that oatmeal so it can help you sustain and utilize that carb properly. Mm-hmm. But eating oatmeal, great for the bowels. And so soluble fiber I want to talk about first. So you have oatmeal, like I said. Another example of, y'all heard of flax seeds?
Yeah.
So flax seeds, sorry, my camera is backwards. But flax seeds are another good source. And then another one I like better is, if you can read, it's backwards again. It's called chia seeds. Y'all heard of chia seeds?
Mm-hmm. I've heard of chia seed, yeah.
Really, really tiny seeds.
Is that what grows on the chia pets, or is that something else?
Absolutely, yeah, it is.
It is, okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can if you want, you can take this and plant it in dirt and water, and about 2 weeks you start to get almost like a grass, and it grows, and then it will seed and make more chia seed. So you can eat this.
I need to use that in my backyard here in California. We don't get much grass, and I never thought of that.
I can't guarantee chia seed will grow in the desert, but these are all types of soluble fiber, and mainly what soluble fiber does is it dissolves in water, and so that makes your bowels more slippery and more soft. It makes bigger bowel movements. So if you want to clean the digestive tract, you want to do soluble fibers. Now, with that said, you have to be careful, because with soluble fibers, because they bulk the bowel movements, they can also slow things down. Mm-hmm. So if you're constipated and you start eating more chia seed, well, you could notice things go slower. And that's why it's very important to drink water. You add water, well, that will help to absorb some of that chia seed and make things move easier and more slippery.
Okay.
So if you don't eat a lot of fiber and you start eating these soluble fibers, make sure you don't do a lot to start with. Work your way up to it. And I was researching just some facts. It was interesting that less than 3% of Americans, less than 3%. So that means 97% and more of Americans don't even meet the minimum of fiber intake on a daily basis.
What is the minimum? What is the minimum? Yeah.
So they say about 30 grams of fiber a day.
What would that look like? Give me an example.
So a serving of fruits and vegetables is going to give you about anywhere from 7 to 10 grams. I'm sorry, no, yeah, about 7 grams, I think it is.
So let's say I ate 5 raspberries and 5 blueberries. How much is that?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
That's not a lot of fiber. I would encourage you to eat probably twice that to get a good serving of fiber. But so if it's 7 to 10 grams, I'm talking about a healthy serving of fruits and vegetables. That's not a lot of raspberries and blueberries, Mike.
Right. Yeah, no, that's not all I eat during the day.
Good.
In the morning, I get that in.
Good.
Okay. Well, so I eat nuts because nuts are healthy for the heart. I understand. And so they have fiber. What kind of fiber is in nuts?
So a nut is going to be, I think, a blend, but it's going to be more of what's called the insoluble, which I'll talk about in a moment. And that's more of an insoluble fiber. So eating more fruits and vegetables is not what we're doing. We need to eat more fruits and vegetables. That's where you're getting your fiber from. So 7 grams is about a serving. Okay. And think about think about 3 meals a day. Are we eating a serving of fruits and vegetables every meal?
Yeah. Not always.
Sorry, not to call you out. Not every.
I mean, not always. I try myself to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables because I like them, and also I know it's good because I like to be happy every day, and so that definitely is helpful. But sometimes sometimes it's like I'm going fast food, so you get burger and fries, and probably burger fries has hardly any fiber in it.
It has very low fiber, and then of course a lot of that is insoluble fiber, which is we need that. I'll talk about that. We need that, but it's not enough. Think about if you get a good serving of plants and vegetables 3 times a day, that's still only 20-25 grams, and we need at least 30. And really, to be healthy, they estimate that we need about 60 grams of fiber a day. 30 is the minimum. That's a minimum. So we're not even getting to the minimum of what's good health.
I had a child who was having some problems. Let's just say with some problems, and the doctor had this the stuff you can buy that's like fiber, that's like that you like drink or whatever.
Yeah,
that stuff's nasty. So do y'all sell anything like that or anything that's better than that?
I mean,
if you're looking for fiber, or is this better? Because I would just prefer to eat the vegetables, the fruits, and stuff. But
me too.
Some kind of fiber drink. That's just to me it's like you're not going to get a kid to drink that, much less a young kid.
We have them. To be honest with you, to make them taste good, you got to add a lot of sugar. You got to add a lot of flavors in there. And I'm with you. I'd rather eat the real food. There's some people just they don't want to put the work in. They just say, I want to take a fiber pill, or I want to take powder and mix it in my smoothie. Go for it. You're going to get some fiber, but no, I'm telling you, you want the fiber and also the other benefits, vitamins, minerals. Eat the real food, and start eating more plants and vegetables, because 60 grams is what you want to strive for. And I'll be honest, I struggle eating, even though I know these things. I struggle because it takes time. A lot of times we don't want to take the time because we want those foods that are easy to make, that are fast, that taste good to us because we're used to it. We're not used to that real food.
So let's say you eat a big salad during the day, Jason. Lettuce, tomato, peppers, cucumbers. I'm talking about more than a regular serving, a kind of a larger salad. How many grams of fiber do you think that might have in it, just as a guess?
Well, if a standard serving is around 7 to 10, you might get close to 20 or more, and you might meet them. You could meet the minimum, and you'll probably notice not long after you eat that salad where you're going to have a healthy bowel movement, which is good. And I talk to people all the time. They're like, man, I'm not regular. I'm not going to the bathroom like I'm supposed to. And I tell them we'll start eating greens, and they come back 5 days later and like, oh man, I feel better. And it's like, well, yeah, because you're not eating what you need. So again, soluble fiber is very important. It helps bulk up the bowel movements. It helps to make things more slippery, and it's needed. But be careful when you eat a lot of soluble fiber, because it can slow things down, especially if you're constipated. Now, if you're having diarrhea or loose stools, well, you might that's probably what you're needing. You're probably needing to eat more soluble fiber. So the other category is going to be insoluble, which Jeff talked about, as far as nuts and seeds. So I have here pumpkin seeds, really good source of zinc. But pumpkin seeds are a good source of insoluble fiber. You also have your greens. So I have here some Swiss chard. Then this actually has a mix, but it's mostly insoluble fiber. So that means it doesn't dissolve. What your body does is it breaks it down and it dissolves as much as it can. But then these stay in your bowels, and a lot of times you'll notice it comes out almost looking like it did. Yeah.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Well, like corn.
Like corn, you got it.
Corn does that quite a bit.
Corn is it?
Why is that, Jason? That some things you see later.
Well, another term for greens is called roughage. So I think part of that is God made it roughage to help clean the digestive tract. We need.
So not necessarily a bad thing, right?
No. You want things to go down and clean and sweep up your bowels as they go through you. Because. You heard people talk about, you need to do a colon cleanse because you might have, so many pounds of fecal matter in your body. Well, that is true. If you're not regular, you can get fecal matter that store up in the pockets. And then, that leads to things like diverticulitis, where you get pockets of seeds and stuff in there, and they put holes in your digestive tract, mainly in your bowels. But you want things to go down and sweep those intestines to keep them clean.
Go ahead, Mike, but I have a question after this.
Okay, real quick. Does fasting help clean the bowels? Because I know when I fasted, I feel like at the end of the fast, I usually, if I eat something or right before I eat something, at the end of a fast, I usually have to go. Is there something to that or what?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I'm not researched that specific thing. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And that's why I recommend people fast all the time. And I recommend doing a Bible fast, a 24-hour fast, and no food, no water, because it does give your body rest and it allows your body to purge itself, to cleanse itself. Now, is that connected? It got to be, because obviously you're experienced it. I've experienced it. I'm sure many others have too. No, fasting is great. It's a great way to reset your body, specifically your digestive tract. Yeah. And of course, I tell people don't drink liquid either, because that also gives your kidneys and your urinary system a break too. Because even if you drink water, they still have to work. So.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you, because this is something I noticed we've had the norovirus going around Georgia a little bit lately, and the norovirus, if anybody's familiar with it, that causes diarrhea and different stomach problems. And I had it, but then I noticed that after I had it, I felt that was almost like a natural way of cleansing. Because after it was gone, I was like, oh wow, my bowel movements, and I don't, again, we're talking about bowel movements and stuff on here. I'm not going to brag about them, but they're great, right?
Yeah.
So because it's like something about having a virus for this, there's something natural about that virus that maybe we need to get that every once in a while. I don't know. That's just my thoughts afterwards. That somehow I felt a lot better after that.
Yeah, and that's
it's like a cleanse or something.
Well, think about it. That's a virus. Well, how do we get that in our body? More than likely, you either touched something or you ate something that was contaminated, or somebody got in your face and gave you germs. That goes into your mouth or your nose, goes into your digestive tract, and what your body does is says, "Hey, this is not what I want in my body, so I'm going to flush it." And it flushes itself.
It's like full eject. It's like we're full eject right now. We're getting rid of everything.
Yeah,
we're starting over.
Yeah. And you can there are a lot of herbs like there's a laxative herbs like Cascara sagrada, senna leaf, which a lot of people use as natural laxative. They encourage that. So Cascara irritates the lining of the digestive tract and causes it to purge. So that's why you can get a natural laxative effect from that. They're useful, but again, I'm going to encourage you to do it on your own through what you're eating. If you need those things to speed things up, they're there. But so you have soluble, insoluble fiber. Insoluble fiber does not dissolve, and so it tends to cause more of a laxative effect. So example,
okay.
like apples. Apples are insoluble, so they're gonna keep things moving. You have
Is that why they say an apple a day?
yeah. Yeah, apple a day because it makes you more regular. Now apples also have pectin in there, which is good for cholesterol and many other things. Now it's more like 3 apples a day, unfortunately, with the quality of our food nowadays. But yeah, you start eating apples every day. Applesauce, like a plain organic, unsweetened applesauce, you're going to notice, man, I'm more regular, and that's a good thing. So couple of things. What does fiber do for us?
Well, does it help clean us out? Is one
It does.
thing?
Yeah, it does. Normalizes bowel movements. Anything else?
I guess it gives us certain, vitamins and minerals. Does it do something like that? Give us certain nutrients?
So not exactly. Well, that's
okay.
more the job of probiotics.
Okay.
Anything else?
I can't really think about it. I mean, we always think of fiber. You think of the regularity. You think of feeling good. It makes you feel better.
Something for your stomach.
Well, it improves colon health. We talked about sweeping the digestive tract.
Right,
so it improves colon health. So I wanted to share these because this hopefully encourage people to eat more fiber for regularity, but also for health benefits. So it improves colon health by sweeping the digestive tract. But it also helps to bind to toxins. So let's say you have, toxins, you have bad cells, you have viruses, you have bad bacteria. It binds to those things and helps pull them out of the body.
Oh, interesting. That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It would do that within the digestive tract, right? I mean,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because think about it, like I said, sweeping the bowel. You have a bigger bowel movement. It's going to go down and push and pull anything that's in its path.
Okay.
Or whereas you have loose stools or really really small stools, it's not going to do a lot. It's just kind of going to go right through you. Or if you have hard stools, well, then it's going too slow. And it's straining everything as it goes down and causing inflammation.
Interesting.
And so the other thing is it promotes weight loss. And of course, being regular is very good for weight management. Right. It controls blood sugar. So eating more fiber helps you have a better blood sugar. It helps you absorb sugars and carbs in your diet.
Okay.
And it's
so when you say, does it do that by binding it together or getting a hold of it, or how does it do that?
I guess I'd have to research more of that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
What did you say earlier about the it binds the toxins together?
Yeah, it binds the toxins. So it's a good way to help detox the body from toxins.
Okay, got it. So it's kind of like kind of like vacuuming up the toxins. It does something where it's like a magnet that pulls toxins toward. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it kind of, well, like I said, like for instance, mostly insoluble fiber, it soaks up moisture. And so it's going to bind, and make things more slippery and gooey, ooey. And so, it's going to bind to those things and help pull them out of the body.
Okay.
And one of those is also, this is the last one I will talk about is cholesterol. So fiber helps bind to those bad fats that cause our high cholesterol. So fiber increases good cholesterol and lowers bad cholesterol. So, a lot of good benefits to increasing fiber.
The big foods for fiber are fruits, vegetables, oats, nuts.
Yes. So
anything else we're not naming that we wouldn't think of?
No, you covered pretty much all of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Fruits, vegetables, and plants. It's really it. All plants are going to have fiber in them.
What about bread? What about some breads? Is there fiber in there? I mean, there's fiber, right?
So breads are usually going to be more of a insoluble fiber. So people that eat a high diet of breads and pasta are going to tend to be more constipated.
Okay.
And especially if it's processed. Now, if it's going to be whole grain, you're going to get a lot better benefits because you're going to get nutrients from it. So, like I try to eat, I love sprouted grain breads. So it's going to have whole wheat, but it's also going to have sprouts and other nut seeds in there to give you kind of a range of fibers.
Okay. Those heavier breads, right? Ezekiel bread or whatever.
But then you also, and the other benefit of eating fiber, such as like fruits and vegetables, is you get key nutrients like vitamin C and magnesium. So vitamin C and magnesium are very important for hydrating the bowels. And so they keep things nice and loose. Have you ever taken too much magnesium?
I don't know.
If you take too much magnesium, you'll know. Your body will let you know because you're gonna have loose stools. You take too much vitamin C, again, you're gonna have loose stools.
Because it can't use it, so it's got to get rid of it, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But making sure you get enough of those in the diet, because those are also really important for healthy well-being of the body, but they also are going to support healthy bowel movements. So again, another reason why not just fiber but fruits and vegetables are so good for us.
Gotcha.
Okay, so from a biblical perspective, think of God says He gives us all first He says He gives you all green things for food, and later He says I also give you meat for food. So we probably should eat a lot more of the green things, than we actually do. A lot more fruit, vegetables, and I guess also the examples of what they ate at the time that God was giving laws and stuff is very simple. They weren't eating Doritos. I know that.
Yeah, I wonder how much fiber manna had. I really want to know that. I'm gonna ask God that one day. So
that's interesting to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, if God created a food for everybody to live on every day, He probably has some pretty good. Yeah, I probably had a really good mix of everything in there.
Yeah, maybe might have had 60 grams of fiber. So, but all right. So the next thing I want to talk about are probiotics. Okay. So again, we're talking about how to have healthy bowel movements and being regular. And one way to do that is to make sure that you have good healthy probiotics. We all have them. What are probiotics? You guys know?
Well, I know because I take them. That from what I understand is that your stomach has already has bacteria in it, and there's a lot of good bacteria that helps you digest and take care of the food that your stomach needs. And so when you're taking probiotics, you're just helping that bacteria maintain its levels or get better by continuing to keep that healthy bacteria in your gut. That's what I believe when I'm taking it. Hopefully that's right.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right too, Mike. You said bacteria. They're really tiny, healthy microorganisms, but most of them are bacteria. Probiotics, think of them as good bacteria that are in our gut, mainly, all throughout the gut, but mainly in the intestines. And then we also have good bacteria all on our body. And most of your bowel movements, most of the weight of the bowel movements is actually good bacteria. That can be bad bacteria too. So we have a lot of bacteria in our bowel movements, and that can be you can actually test that and find out how healthy your bowel movements are.
Okay.
If you're interested, if you want to know how healthy you are.
Let me ask you.
Well, I mean, this is something. Go back to the child who was having some problems. The doctor wanted him to create a poop chart, where he was like, you would write down your poop and what it looked like, and there's different like textures and colors and stuff, and some is healthier than others. And so the doctor wants to know that so they can tell you, what you're eating and not eating. They can base it upon, really how it looks and how it is.
Okay.
I've heard that, Jason. My brother actually we've had him on once. We're going to get him on again. He actually had a book that talked about different types of bowel movements and what they look like and what that can tell you about what's going on inside of you. And the ones that were a good size and a nice brown color and everything, that was good stuff,
Oh man. Now Yeah,
I think
go ahead.
we instinctively know that though, because we know what like, because I mean, not to get too. I mean, I guess we're talking about poop, but I
Yeah,
mean, like you use the
just
bathroom afterwards. Some people look at it. I'll look at mine. I don't know. Some people won't. They'll just flush without looking. I'll look
yeah,
at it, and I'll be like, I was like, that was a good poop, and
mhm,
it makes me feel a little proud
yeah,
that I'm taking care of myself. I
yeah.
mean, I mean, this that's part of life, right? It makes you
Hmm.
Yeah,
have
yeah.
really
No, it
good poops.
happens every day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel good about it when it's the right consistency and color and all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. I think when something's wrong. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody knows. I mean, come on. People know when they go because it's pretty obvious.
yeah,
And if you don't look at your bowel movements, I would encourage you to. You need to
yeah.
look at that because that's a way for you to perceive and look at what's going on in the body. And
Mhm.
and and of course, yeah, I won't say any more about that. But
Yeah,
probiotics.
yeah, yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
it can sound gross, but we're talking about normal, healthy things that we all have to deal with every day.
I mean, yeah, everybody
Yeah,
has to poop. I mean, yeah, it's
yeah,
gross and it stinks.
hmm
But that's another thing. You can change how your poop smells. If your poop smells, drink more water. Number one, and then also maybe you need to change the types of fibers you're eating.
hmm
You can make the smell of it get better by what you eat too. And we'll give it a little bit more into that with enzymes. I'm going to talk about
Okay,
enzymes later too.
okay.
So again, probiotics are good bacteria we all have. Now, one of the big problems while we're not regular is we don't have good what they call microbiome. It's a big fancy word for the health or all the bacteria in our body. But if we don't have a healthy microbiome, well, that can really affect how regular we are. That can affect how well we're absorbing nutrients from our food. That can affect greatly our immune system and how our body protects itself from pathogens. And so, probiotics are a lot more important than we want to. Even it affects your mood, your brain health. It helps. It helps. Well, I'll stop there. That's a lot. So
So
what is
what are we
okay?
getting? Are we getting it from yogurt? What are we getting the probiotics from besides, just taking it,
So
get
you get it from fermented foods, things like sauerkraut,
hmm
kimchi, and you can also ferment other foods. There's a pretty popular thing going on where people are taking a specific type of salt, like a brine, and they're putting vegetables in it, and you let those vegetables ferment, and you can eat them, and you get good enzymes, good probiotics from that. But yeah, plain yogurt. But I would recommend plain organic yogurt or plain organic Greek yogurt. A lot of these commercial yogurts, they add in sugar, which is going to neutralize and kind of kill a lot of those good bacteria.
oh,
But another kind of yogurt thing is called kefir or kefir. Really, it's going to have a lot more probiotics in there.
hmm
You can find that at grocery stores everywhere.
what's that new drink that's real popular now? Starts with a K.
Kombucha.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so kombucha has some. It
Okay.
more gives you like enzymes. That's a better kind of thing. It gives you some good fermentation that can help promote probiotic growth. But real quick, back to the fiber. So fiber, another reason why we want to eat more fruits and vegetables, it is one of the biggest factors for helping us have a healthy microbiome. So probiotics love fiber. That's what they eat.
Oh, okay.
And so
Okay.
if you want healthier probiotic levels, well, you want to eat more fruits and vegetables to help promote that.
Okay.
Okay, so
Now,
that helps.
Interesting.
They'll feed
now
them.
you can
Okay.
take a probiotic supplement. That's one of the things we sell a lot here.
hmm
That gives you good probiotics. But make sure when you buy a probiotic, I'm going to show you on here real close. Well, it does. My camera's backwards. So you have probiotics, then you're going to have what's called prebiotics.
Uh-huh.
So prebiotics is kind of a fancy word for food that probiotics eat. So they go down before to feed those probiotics.
Gotcha.
Now I've heard that you don't want to take antibiotics unless you really
Mhm.
have to, because they can really decimate your probiotics. Is that true too?
It is true. All over the place you research that, you're going to see we have way overused antibiotics. You go into the hospital, you're sick. Like, to give you an example, my daughter, when she was really young, had an ear infection. And we took her in because she really had fever, and we just wanted to make sure and figure out what was going on. Well, they said, oh, yeah, she's got an ear infection. And they told her, you need to take her to the emergency room because she had a high fever. And I'm like, well, no, she's still, conscious. She's not, she's hydrated. She's eating. So it's not really a bad thing. Fevers are natural. But then they prescribed us an antibiotic. And I asked them the question, and this is no offense to them. This is urgent care. Yeah. It's just what they do. But they prescribed, and I asked them, I said, well, what causes ear infections? Well, they gave me paperwork, and you read right in the paperwork, most ear infections are caused by viruses. And so here you take an antibiotic, and yes, some antibiotics can help with viruses. That is true. But typically they're used for bacterial infections. Yeah. And so antibiotics don't typically do a lot for ear infections. What they do is you take them to prevent maybe having a bacterial infection because the virus is low in your immune system. Let's say you have an ear infection, well, that makes your immune system lower, and so you're more likely to have a bacterial infection.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a prevention. Yeah. So now my choice.
Yeah. I guess antibiotics are. It's definitely. There's some good, there's some bad. Definitely, you're. I think you're correct saying they are over. Prescribed. Yeah. I can just give you my mom's case. Because my mom was prescribed antibiotics, were really strong antibiotics.
Yeah.
And the really strong antibiotics killed everything in her gut. Except for a certain bacteria that killed her. So, wow. so yeah. Wow. I mean, and that's what they told me in the hospitals, that because they were doing the antibiotics to try to treat something else.
Yeah.
Those antibiotics caused this other problem that was that ended up killing her. And again, that's the situation there. So I'm speaking
individual situation.
Individual situation, anecdotally, because I take antibiotics when I need them and stuff like that. But I do know that specific situation that happened with my mom was, so I understand that there's, we know a lot, but we don't know everything.
Yeah. I had a similar. My daughter was sick when she was younger. We went in, and when she got checked out, to see what was going on, and the doctor was ready to give her antibiotics. And I just asked the question. It was just, hey, well, wait a minute. Does she have to take it right now? And then he stopped, and he said, no. He said, let's wait a couple more days, see what happens with her, and then we'll talk about it. And she got better, and we didn't need it. So just have that conversation with your doctor. When they say something, you can talk to them and ask questions about it.
Yeah.
It's like when they tested my children. They tested. They have strep throat. Well, yes, I know antibiotics help strep throat, but antibiotics don't help the flu, kind of thing. So it's just it's a matter of. But there's literature out there, and there's a lot of you can read a lot of things about how you are correct. They are way overprescribed, and again, I don't fault the doctors for what happened to my mom. I just understand. Things happen like that.
Yeah.
That's just part of there's a certain amount of things and there's side effects and stuff.
Well, that's the whole reason I wanted to talk about that today, Jeff. Because if we can eat these things and help, increase our probiotics, then we're less likely to have those. Let me give you an example. You all heard of E. coli, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, E. coli is a bad bacteria. And where does it come from?
Meat?
No, it comes from poop. It comes from poop.
Okay, right. Yeah. So it can get into vegetables too. Yes, right. I got you. Okay, right. I'm sorry.
It contaminates all food items. Yeah, meat because when they kill the cow, well, sometimes they cut the gut and they leak fecal matter, poop all over the meat. And if it's not cleaned properly, you can have an E. coli outbreak. But think about this though. E. coli, yes, it's a deadly pathogen. But our bodies, God has created our bodies to have a healthy digestive tract. So when we eat that E. coli, if our gut is healthy, it will neutralize and kill that. Now, if it is not healthy, well, yes, that E. coli is going to grow and it's going to cause an infection that can kill us. And so yeah, eating properly is so important because we can avoid these situations. And that's the trouble, is because antibiotics are wonderful, wonderful creation in my opinion, but we are overusing them because they're so strong that they kill not only the bad bacteria but our good bacteria, and so we have lots of horrible side effects from them. And so then people say, well, I don't like the side effects. Well, I'm going to stop using them when sometimes they do need them and they don't take them long enough, and it doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do. So
I know if you're prescribed and you don't take it for the full term, it could actually get worse.
Yeah,
you'll take your full thing because things will get a lot worse if you don't take it to its term. I know that.
Yeah, you're better off just not taking it. If you don't take it all, you're better off not taking it, in my opinion. So taking probiotics though can help because it helps promote good probiotics. And one more thing, sorry, with the prebiotics, you also have try to get a probiotic if you're going to take one, something that helps protect it from stomach acid. So when those good bacteria go through into your stomach, well, stomach acid can kill them. So you can get what's called enteric coated, and they also have other things like this company. They have brown seaweed that coats the probiotics, and so as it's going through the digestive tract, hits that stomach acid, it swells and protects them, and so then it won't break down until it gets to your lower gut. But yeah. So and a couple of things I wanted to say here. So probiotics. Where are they at? Well, I wanted to finish by saying the immune system, really. So back to kind of your point, Jeff, working on increasing your probiotic count is going to be great for strengthening your immune system, because almost everything that we get exposed to, bacteria, viruses, go through our digestive tract. And if our probiotic count, our immune system is not good, it's going to get sick. And so if you want to avoid getting sick, well, then, take a probiotic supplement or eat foods that promote probiotics to grow.
Let me ask you a question here. We're getting close to the end of the program, but I'll ask you this question. Something that I found out for myself, and it took me a while in life to figure out, is that I have a lactose intolerance. That that if I just drink milk, then that causes some digestive problems. But if I drink, if I have that is an enzyme that I can take, or something I can take, that lactate that provides something that I don't have or whatever, that when I drink milk, then hey, the milk's fine. I think it's a lactate or whatever it is. So for me, that personally, drinking the milk that has that enzyme in it or whatever it is, that helps.
So I'm actually kind of excited you asked that, because I thought about talking about that today, but I thought maybe it's kind of controversial. Yeah. So there are a couple of different thoughts. So a lot of us are familiar with germ theory. You heard of germ theory?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The idea, and it's what we're used to, is the idea that we have germs that infect us and cause us to have a immune response.
Right.
And now milk is not. You're not talking about a germ. You're talking about the sugar in milk called lactose, which is hard to digest. Well,
for
milk,
some people, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So milk, because of the germ theory, because we found that there were bacteria in milk from sick cows, also from how they extract milk, they decided to do pasteurization. Mm-hmm. All right. So pasteurization, what that does is it kills bacteria, but it also kills all the other good nutrients that we have, a lot of good nutrients we have in milk. And some of those are what our body can use to digest and process that lactose.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I never knew that. Yeah. And that's why I've heard people who talk about just getting the whole milk right from the cow, and you got to do it this way, and that they're emphasizing what's coming naturally from the cow is good for you, right?
Yeah, and some of this stuff is starting to come out. Now the other thing is, because of all the commercialization of milk, obviously we want to make more money. So what are they going to do? They're going to breed cows that make more milk, right? Well, there are genetic different types of cows that produce more milk. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to take this cow has a lot of milk. You're going to breed it with this cow, and that has a lot of milk, and you're going to make a cow that makes the most milk possible.
Yeah.
Well,
selective breeding.
Yeah, but the problem with that, though, is along with that, you also have a gene in that cow. This is what my sister gets into. She produces cows. She has a dairy farm. You have cows that have what's called A1 gene.
Okay.
And A1 gene has less of the enzyme in the milk to help you digest the lactose.
Okay.
So yeah, you're losing something, but you're gaining something, but you're pros and cons to everything.
So if you are lactose intolerant, well, if you're sensitive to lactose, you can get what's called A2 milk. Usually comes from cows like Jersey cows, and they're going to have higher amounts of those enzymes in the milk, especially if you get it raw. Now it's hard to find raw, and of course, be careful buying raw. Like in North Carolina, it's illegal to buy raw milk and drink it.
I myself, you know what? Because I grew up in this society, I would be afraid to drink raw milk. I just say that right now.
I mean, make sure. I would advise you. Yeah, make sure you know who's making that milk. But you can buy it at grocery stores. They have a company called A2 Milk, and it's milk from A2 cows. And so, you're going to have those enzymes in there to help you digest and process that lactose.
Would that be at specialty grocery stores? Because I've never seen that at.
So I have it. We have Kroger down here, and
it's there.
They sell it at Kroger. Yeah.
Wow. I'll look in the milk area. I've never noticed that.
Yeah, because the milk I drink right now is the Lactate brand because it's the one that I can tolerate. But if there's other milk brands that I can tolerate, I might look into that as well.
Yeah, try that. And then also, like some of the health food stores, you're going to have kind of slightly pasteurized where they only do a slight pasteurized. But that's actually the whole reason why we have a lot of the issues. Bread, for instance, why is bread such an issue for people with the gluten?
Well, people have that gluten problem, I guess.
There's two factors. So the processing of bread, well, that means we're going to use synthetic yeast. Most bread that you buy is using synthetic yeast. Well, synthetic yeast feeds on the sugar, not the gluten. So we have higher amounts of gluten in the bread. If you make your own sourdough bread or using like starter with a real yeast, it's going to be easier on the stomach.
Okay. So there's a lot more gluten in things that are more processed.
Yeah. And then of course, the other thing is that most of the wheat we eat, especially if it's not organic, is genetically modified. Well, they modify that wheat to have Roundup to prevent weed growth. And so that Roundup gets into our digestive tract, causes digestive issues. And so, it makes that wheat even more an issue and being harder to digest.
Okay.
So I would say, or if you're going to eat wheat, eat organic, non-GMO.
Okay.
So,
now we're close to the end of the program. I know you wanted to talk about one more aspect of gut health.
Mm-hmm. So last one I want to talk about is enzymes. So enzymes are another kind of key piece in helping you be more regular. So you have three main groups. I'll kind of go through this quickly. You have amylases, you have lipases, and you have proteases. So amylases help you break down carbs and sugars. Lipases help you break down fats. I think lipase, the fat enzyme. Protease, that helps you break down proteins. And then you also have things like pineapple and papaya. Pineapple gives you bromelain, and papaya gives you papain. These are called proteolytic enzymes. So they're kind of fruit and vegetable enzymes. Many other plants and things give you enzymes too. So let's say you eat a broccoli. Well, broccoli has an enzyme in that plant that helps you digest the broccoli.
Okay.
And so I think we talked about that last time with the sulforaphane, the cancer-fighting compound. So the enzyme in there, which you can get from mustard seed, can help you break down that compound and help you digest it. So enzymes are really important. Now, if you are not eating good fiber, you don't have a good probiotic or good microbiome, then you are going to have low production of enzymes. Let's say you're diabetic. Well, the pancreas is not functioning properly. Well, then the pancreas is a very important factory for enzymes. And so if your pancreas is not working well, then your enzyme levels are going to be low. And those are really essential. So like when you start eating your food, what happens when you start eating? You get saliva. Saliva is loaded with enzymes. If you have dry mouth, well, that's a big problem because you're not producing a lot of enzymes in that saliva because you don't have any. And so you're not able to digest your food properly. And so the enzymes break that food down as it's going down into the stomach and as it's in the stomach. And so then when it gets
a lot of people don't chew their food properly, and that could cause a lot of digestive problems as well.
Absolutely,
chew it 3 times and swallow. And
that's actually one of my flaws. Being a teacher for 4 years, I didn't have a lot of time to eat lunch, and I just would scarf my food down. And so chewing is really important because that breaks it down to smaller pieces to make it more easily to digest. So enzymes, what you can do is you can support the liver, support the pancreas, and that will help with enzyme production. But again, eating more plants and fruits, those give you enzymes. And so you eat that more fiber, you have more enzymes to help you digest that food, and then help you have better nutrition. Because once that food breaks down better, well, then the probiotics come along and they help you absorb the vitamins and the minerals and the fats from that food and take it to your brain and your body and your heart and all over. And so now you can take an enzyme supplement. There's all kinds of enzyme supplements. They're going to have these enzymes in there. So if you're not well, or let's say you have a lot of disease, probably a really good recommendation to take enzymes. Again, also if you're not regular, you're constipated, or even if you have diarrhea, maybe you need to take enzymes to help break that food down to either slow down the bowel movement or to help you get a smaller pieces to make the bowel movements, more easy to go along and move along.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, I kind of rushed through that. I apologize.
So real quick, foods that can provide these enzymes. You mentioned broccoli, pineapple. Are there some other big ones?
So pineapple and papaya are going to be the biggest one. Now you can buy those in supplement form. But and back to what you're talking about, kombucha. Kombucha has enzymes in there. Apple cider vinegar has enzymes in there. That's part of the reason why it helps you with digestion. It can cause acid reflux. But and then other than that, I don't know. Some of the higher ones. I mean, all fruits and vegetables are going to give you some enzymes and help. But and then the last thing I want to talk about is I talked a lot about fiber, but sometimes, let's say someone who is very constipated, been dealing with constipation years and years and years. Sometimes you actually want to go on what's called a low fiber diet, where you want to avoid a high fiber, do more of a liquid diet, doing things like you can. A good example is a bone broth diet. People that struggle with that, they can look up bone broth diet, and it talks about what to eat and go through that. And what that does is that actually kind of makes food more bland. It keeps the bowel movement soft, and it avoids causing problems. Because some people, sorry, I wish I had more time to go into this, but
we'll get you another time.
I mean, it's kind of a bigger subject, but sometimes fiber is actually not the answer. So don't forget about that. If you have constipation, look at maybe changing your diet to no fiber for a short amount of time, and then slowly you add fiber back in.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I guess we've hit our time limit, but I do thank you for joining. I guess it goes so quickly. all this.
You got a lot of information there.
Well, good. Well, good. Hopefully,
hey, what's your website, and where's the store located again? Do we have that can we put that on the screen, Jeff? Or
what is it again? I might have it already in my.
It's the website is localhouseofhealth.com. And our store is called House of Health, and we're located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
You have you have 2 stores or 1 store? Or?
Yeah, we have 2 stores. We have another one up in Virginia. It's a smaller one, where my parents live.
So Local House of Health, to spell it out.
LOCAL.
Look,
H.
let me see if I got it
Local.
right here. How's that? Does that look correct? Localhouseofhealth.com.
Yep, that is correct. So
All right, so that's where
thank
you
you.
can
Thank you.
find out about what, at least in your area. Maybe come out and see you, and you can
Yeah, on behalf
Yeah,
of
Winston Salem,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I always give free consultations. So all day
All right,
long.
well,
So
thank you for taking time out of your, I'm sure, a busy day there.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks,
no,
man.
thank-
We appreciate it.
thank you guys for having me. I had fun. So let's make poop great again, and
Yeah.
let's be healthier, let's be happier, and hopefully God can allow us to live a little longer.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
definitely, man. Definitely.
All right.
Great words. Thanks.
All right, again, thanks again for joining us. I think everybody else who's joining us today, and we want to encourage you to, if you go back, Jason's been on a couple other episodes. Go back and look for those episodes, watch those. And we've done so many different topics, but this is definitely one I think a lot of people in the church are interested in, and definitely are want to learn more about. So we have a few of those, and we'll definitely have Jason on more as we go. So again, thank you again, Jason. Thank you, Mike, and thank everybody out there watching. So we'll see
Thank
everybody
guys.
next week.
All right, see y'all.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.